Okay, we are live with this family. Now, you're 3 generations of no vaccines, so you say, and you're all alive. Well, according to people like Fauci, you shouldn't be alive. What's going on? Why did you not vaccinate yourself and all your family?
Well, I guess it pretty much started with my parents. I come from a big family, and by the time they had me, their eyes were kind of open up to God and more with some changing in beliefs. They realized that God made our body, God made our immune system. He sent a remedy to heal our bodies and our immune systems. And along with that, they learned and established a belief that all sickness and disease comes from the enemy. So it came down to kind of a common sense thing. If the vaccines are all loaded with the sicknesses, why would you inject, if you believe in God and you believe in what he can do for us and what he has done for us, then why would you inject disease and the enemy into your body to bring health? That just didn't make sense, and it still doesn't make sense today.
So you guys decided that's it. How many children have you got?
We have 8.
8 children,
Yeah.
all completely unvaccinated.
Yeah.
Well, I met him with a daughter that when before I met him, I had been married before. She was 2 when I met him, and that's where I learned about it. So actually the 30-year-old
Yes.
had been vaccinated. So I've seen both sides.
So the oldest is vaccinated.
Yeah.
But all of our children together
Yeah.
are not.
Right.
And can you see the difference?
Oh yeah. I was there for when my oldest was born, all the sicknesses that she got from the vaccine. And then of course all my children, they were like, if they got something, it was over. They didn't linger. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't terrible, you know.
So this is your daughter,
Yes.
and where are you in line?
I am the second oldest. Well, first
Second oldest.
for them.
And how ill have you been? Have you been on death's door?
No, not as a child. I was super healthy, and we got colds, and that was it. We got the chicken pox. and-
What, you really got the chicken pox?
Yes.
And how'd that go?
Stupid rash for a week, and we're all fine. Just annoyed us. Was
So
nothing.
did you homeschool your children? What did the school say?
Yes, we homeschooled. Now, I went to public schools as a child, and they, of course, had their fits and said that you can't come to school without being vaccinated. And my parents did well to know their rights, and they informed them that, yeah, we do have exemptions, and we're not going to get them vaccinated. And there was a little bit of a fight, but so I went to public schools my entire life, and we did fine with that.
And now you married into this family.
Yes, I am.
And how did you feel when you heard about them being anti-vax?
Well, I was fine with it. I was vaccinated as a child. My parents were teenage parents, and they didn't know any better, so I got my childhood shots. But majority of the rest of my siblings, I'm the oldest of 8. Majority of my siblings haven't been vaccinated either. So once they found out the truth and saw things firsthand with other friends, and kind of on the same lines as what he said, if God created us and our immune systems and everything, and the enemy is evil, why are we injecting evilness into our bodies in hope to fight evil? It just doesn't really make sense. So I mean, when I married into this, I was just happy to see a family that had figured that out generations before my family, and see the fruit of it, and everybody being healthy and fine.
Now you guys have got, you're sitting like wide apart from each other, but you guys have got how many children?
We have 4 children together.
And are they totally unvaccinated?
Yes.
Even vitamin K? No vitamin
No
K?
vitamin K. We actually had our babies at home.
Babies at home. You guys did really well. Their ages are?
Xavier is 6, Oliver's 4, and Xander is 2, and she's 5 months.
Do any of them, are they on any kind of medication?
Nope.
No. How much antibiotics have they had?
Never any.
What about allergies, asthma,
Never. No allergies.
autism,
Nope.
ADHD, ADD,
Nope.
paralysis from the waist downwards?
Nope.
Seriously, I mean, honestly, you can't make it up. None at all.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, they get seasonal colds like everybody else, and they're a couple days, and then they're fine.
What about ear infections?
They've never had an ear
They've
infection.
never had an ear infection.
I've never had an ear infection.
That's the one thing that I did see with the vaccinated.
With the one vaccinated daughter.
All the time, ear infections.
So let's try and sort this out. What is going on here then? Why are they pushing these vaccines when you guys have the same story as the vaccinated people over and over and over again? The vaccinated sick, unvaccinated healthy.
There's a lot of ways you can go with that. I think recently there though, at least I can't deny in my mind, with COVID, I think they proved that they're not really concerned with health. They're more concerned with a sort of control, and I think mainly financially. I mean, this is a financial boom for many, many different areas. But yet at the same time, they never make any full positive claims that their vaccine even works. So I'm not sure how anyone can get around what I just said. I'm not sure how you can see healthcare in it. It just doesn't make any sense to think that to me. So whether that goes back 30, 40 years or not, I don't know the answer to that. I believe that there's a good chance that it does. And I know there's probably some people who sincerely believe that vaccines work. But I think those would be probably severely misinformed people. So if we're going to have this discussion, why don't we really have the discussion? Why don't we ask questions, about people who are getting vaccines and are getting sick? Oftentimes one right after the other, but we're not asking those questions. We kind of try to avoid those kind of questions. In a bigger sense, my family, I come from a big family, so my parents, I was one of 9, so my immediate family of my parents, including grandkids and great-grandchildren, is over 100. And I would say that the large majority of that 100 are not vaxxed. We don't have any serious conditions,
No autism.
none of that stuff.
What about cancer?
Not any of us.
I can't think of one person in our family that has cancer or has had cancer. I can't think of one. So if there is one, I wouldn't know it. And by the way, I had all the childhood sicknesses. I had mumps, measles, chicken pox, whooping cough. I might be forgetting something. And they were inconvenient, uncomfortable. We never even gave them a second thought. We just wanted to know when we could go play again. It was really that simple. And so, kind of the sensational fear-mongering that everyone talks about, I really just don't understand it. I haven't seen it. It's not there. I'm not saying that other people haven't had issues. I don't know about that. But what I do know is we went through all that stuff. It was very inconvenient, but it was never, I would never have said it was serious. And we're healthy today. So
Really healthy today. And it's really important this because people, young mothers, are led to believe through mainstream media their baby will die if it doesn't get a vaccine.
They do tell you that.
And the RSV push is coming.
Yep.
So thank you for speaking about this because it's so important. And I'm presuming you go out and talk to a lot of people about this.
Yeah.
We've had our chats with people, and
Do you have any friends?
well, all two of them.
I was,
Well, congratulations, guys. Seriously, you're going to get a great future ahead, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your undeniable health and happiness.
yeah.
Because that's what we can see when we sit across someone that's in grief or has a child with autism or whatever. It's painful. You guys are all...
it's hard to
Chills.
see a lot of what's happening. Obviously, we all know people who've been vaxxed and have suffered from it, and then there's other people who have, less, maybe minor health conditions that maybe could be pointed towards vaccines and other pharmaceuticals, and it's sometimes it is hard to watch. It's hard to watch people struggle with their health.
It was actually, I used to babysit a lot of children in my home like 5-6 years ago. And I had my son at the time, who's only 6 months old, and I would have some children similar to his age and a few others. And every time they would come over, they would all be sick. And like, as a young mom, I was like, why? Like, these kids are sick all the time. And my son would never get anything from them even. And my mom would all be vaccinated. And they bring over their kids after they get their vaccines half the time, so I'd be like concerned. But like, my kids were all healthy. My son was healthy. So it's really easy when you live that way to see the difference. Mm-hmm. You can see it through all the ear infections and crying, and it's just not normal. It's like people always ask me, "Oh, why is your baby so happy? I hated that stage," and I'm like, I kind of sit here and I wonder, is it because of vaccines? Like, because she hardly ever cries. She's always happy. She sleeps great. She's slept through the night since she's been born. She's nurses one time, and I tell that to other mothers, and they're like, "How is that possible?" But I would attribute it to not getting vaccines. Because she's comfortable, she's healthy, she's happy. Same with all my sons. My sons were all the same. It was funny after the first baby, like, oh, just wait the second baby, oh, just wait the third baby. And I'm like, well, we're at the fourth baby, and it's all been, they're happy, smooth, enough, they don't need anything.
I think they've been pushing this narrative so long that it's just become normal to most people, and they've come to accept that this is just what having a family looks like. This is what having a child looks like, and it's not true. It's a lie. Coming from a family who started off with vaccinations and stuff, but then having my own children and seeing the difference, it's life changing. Being able to see children be healthy and free the way they're meant to be, and even as looking at my wife who hasn't had a single vaccine and seeing how free she is. We're not just gonna die.
No, well, thanks to you guys. They are hearing the truth. So thank you very much. None of you can sign the bus. Not one of you.
Yeah.